This podcast is brought to you by the Down the Middle podcast and by Stevie Wicks.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Part of Your Broadway World podcast. Today we are joined with Jacob Kent.
Hi there.
And we're talking about his new musical.
Perfect.
So let's get started. So, welcome to Bernie's. That's the name of the musical, correct?
What I learned at Bernie's.
What I learned at Bernie's. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's all
I got
good.
Bernie's correct.
You did. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a musical I've been working on for a really long time since I started college. When I started college last year, I'm not that old. But I'm just kidding. You know, it's something I'm really passionate about. I've been passionate about it for a while, and I can't wait to get to share it with other people.
And I mean, you and I have actually been friends for a while through TikTok. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you've recognized it, but the Haley Ruckus account, that's also my other account.
Right. So so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like put that together at some point, and I forget exactly when I like put that together, or like when I put that together, and I was like, oh, so it's actually just been like a lot longer than like I initially thought, because I thought those were two separate accounts, and then they weren't. But I remember talking that at some point, but I forget exactly when I did it. But it was so funny.
A lot of people that I'm friends with on TikTok, like, and I go on my Broadway account, and then I jump into their lives, and then like after a while I finally tell them, they never clock it, and then when I finally reveal it, they're like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. Slay. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness.
I always love to like just kind of mess with them just a little bit.
A little bit. That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Funny. Oh my
So
God.
then, how long have you been like living in the city?
I've lived in the city for about 2 years, is how
Mhm.
long I've lived in the city-ish. 2 years, I believe, in March, which is exciting. It's been a really fun time. I really, like the fact that I get to fully immerse myself
Mm.
in, you know, in what I do in my craft and like all the artistic facets of the industry that I really like. And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do that.
So then, like going back to what Linda at Bernie's, like, how did you come up with like the basis of like what this musical's about and everything?
I've always been very like interested in like culture and how we interact with culture and how we, you know, um, how it evolves and
Mm.
how we and how we look back at it. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Mm.
very interested in nostalgia and I'm very interested in like that kind of stuff. And so I was like, oh, like what it would be so cool to like look at, you know, to explore and examine um how we interact with cultural touchstones through the lens of, theme parkology, like the study of theme park, because I
Mm.
know about theme parks very well, and I know about nostalgia by nature of me, loving it so well. And so why not like kind of marry those two interests and find a sonic land, like create
Mm.
a cohesive sonic landscape from several different eras of music. And you know it's like a little like amalgamation of different things and a big old labor of love.
Because as I know, since I've known you a while, because I also know that you are a big Disney guy too, because
Yeah,
you sing a lot of covers.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
love all things Disney. I think Disney is so fun.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I grew up with a Disney pass, so I could swipe into Disneyland when I could do that, which was amazing. But yeah,
I mean, and agree with everyone in the comments of your TikTok videos. I am for you to be Dimitri and Anastasia if it ever comes back to Broadway, please.
I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. I'd like to be like Disney prince slash Disney-esque prince in any way anyone sees fit.
Yeah.
And so if that's ever on the table, knocking on wood, then great. And if
I
not,
mean, I mean, even if they put Barbie on stage, like,
do anything. That one I would be actually offended if they didn't call me. Anyone else, I'm like, you know what? It's in God's hands.
yeah,
Whatever happens, happens. And there are a million talented people on the face of the planet. And so if they go with someone else, I'm like, you know what? I'm so happy for that person.
mm.
So wonderful. Like, I'm so happy they get opportunities. If it was Barbie, I would be personally offended. I'd be like, that is a slight at me because that's all I ever do is Barbie stuff. My voice teacher in high school was the voice of Barbie in the Barbie movies. Like, that's all I am. And
That's actually fucking cool. That's
yeah,
so cool.
thank you. Yeah, that was super cool. Was growing up with Barbie.
How's it going, everybody? It's Jake from the Down the Middle podcast, and I want to take a quick moment to invite you to check out our show, which airs every other Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube. If you love pro wrestling, you're definitely going to want to check this out. We talk about the latest in pro wrestling.
AEW's pay-per-views are rough, man, and it's obvious. Like, Tony Khan is booking for Tony Khan, and it's obvious because Tony Khan has clinical freaking ADHD, but the kind where like you can hyper focus on the thing you love. He's like, I legitimately want to watch wrestling for 7 hours. It's like, Tony,
Not everybody else does.
hardly
Go
any
home.
hardly anybody else
Yeah.
does.
We talk about some of our favorite things in pro wrestling.
One of the best promos ever. Like, can we just say, like, I had fucking goosebumps. And here's the thing, I know it's a work, but I'm watching that and I'm like, I think MJF might have duped somebody.
And we have a hot take here and there, too.
Nothing against Riho. It's just like, do you think the audience is fucking stupid? Riho weighs 98 pounds.
The vast majority of great moments in professional wrestling have nothing to do with the move. Don't get me wrong, the moves are part of it. Cena's like, I don't even remember how I won. Everybody remembers this.
But the best part about our show is that you are part of the conversation. So check out the show and join in the fun.
As you said, the musical is described as quirky and heartwarming comedy.
Yeah.
Yes. So how would you describe it, its tone and themes in your own words?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about it makes a point as to like how cultural touchstones are important to us as a people. And so when we, I guess when their safety is threatened, we as a people kind of like come together despite our differences to like save said cultural touchstones. Kind of like the original theme of the Hunchback of Notre Dame novel, actually. Uh, has less to do with inner beauty and outer beauty, like that's still a factor, but is actually that was like Victor Hugo's plea to the French government to save Notre Dame, the cathedral, because it was falling into disrepair. And so he was like, here's an epic as to like why a whole bunch of people and events are so like meaningful and crazy to where like the building shines and the building matters because the building matters to us, the French people. To my knowledge, it went something that story goes something along those lines. And it worked, and the French government was like, okay, we'll start taking care of Notre Dame because that's like important to people. And in the same way, theme park gets threatened to be torn down. The kids are like, no, can't do that. Because I do think that cultural touchstones are very important to us as a people and are very unifying to us as a people. And so, you can come from very different backgrounds and ideologies and still be like, no, this is what home means to me. This is important, and so therefore it can't go. And it does take it like takes a profound emotional toll in the case that it does go. But I think that's one of the big themes of Bernie's. I think one of the other themes of Bernie's is, you know, when sometimes when life inevitably doesn't go our way, um, we have to learn how to like live for the ride in spite of that. Like sometimes there's no way to speed up the bad. You're caught in the bad. The bad is not exciting. And so you have to learn how to live for the ride in the meantime. Look at the good. Look what around you makes it worth it, even if it feels like all of it isn't. Um, and tone-wise, it's fun, it's quirky, it's quippy, but it's heartwarming, and I think it's sweet, and I think it's meaningful as well.
And then I did, because I did watch, because I did before this interview, I watched the Green Room 42 thing where you saying, like, you and Morgan Dudley and everybody saying the Bernie's soundtrack and everything, or something like that. I saw a Green Room 42 performance of it.
I don't think we didn't do a performance of it yet.
No.
Yeah, maybe you saw we did like a preview video.
Preview video, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because I remember I saw Morgan Ugly, which, by the way, you and I have the same mutual friend, because I'm friends with her too.
I love that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we met like a couple of years ago when Jagged Little Pill was doing the virtual stage doors. And she got so excited to see me because she apparently stalks my Instagram.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. I love that. I love that. She's so lovely. She's so talented. So talented.
I'm pulling for her to join the musical, though. I'm pulling.
I love that. I love that. I mean, yeah, she's far away now because she's in LA.
Mhm.
It's up to her. It's up to her. Whatever she wants to do. Obviously would love to have her.
I have like a whole list of questions.
You're all good.
What has been the most rewarding and surprising part of working on this production?
Ooh, oh gosh. That's a really good question. Thank you for this question. I'd say the most fulfilling and rewarding part is seeing something that you've been really passionate about on paper, like come to life in actuality. I think it's also created some like really cool connections with people. Like I think, you know, you really get to work with people on a very like strong artistic level when you're creating something brand new. And I think it shows you which people you're the most artistically compatible with and which people maybe you're not the most artistically compatible with. And I think, yeah, I think that's a pretty cool experience. For sure. Oh my gosh, I have the odds. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I mentioned a little bit about the music a little bit. So how do you like? Can you talk about the music at what I learned at Bernie's, and like how you would just describe its style?
Sure. So I took elements of 40s big band, 50s doo-wop, and 60s beach pop and kind of amalgamated them together to create this ambiguous, like Americana vintage sound because I wanted the park to kind of be vintage themed. And so if the park is vintage themed, then the soundscape is going to be like vintage inspired. And so because of that, you get all those elements through a like circa 2010s contemporary theater lens-ish. And so you get different elements of all of those different genres because I really wanted to explore the idea of like what the word vintage means and our nostalgia, which is a little more nebulous and a little more abstract. And I really wanted to, especially, you know, the show takes place in 2013, and that was when people were really into the idea of something that's like vintage 40s through 60s. And you see that in the media and like the early 2010s, right? Like Teen Beach Movie and like all of these different like polka dot dress, BuzzFeed, what vintage Disney movie, vintage, Etsy, thrift, hipster, like that. All of these like subcultures were very involved in like the American vintage. And so I wanted to take that concept that has existed so strongly visually and translate that into something sonically.
Then I had like two more questions, and then I do want to also dive into Gail's Broadway Rose because you are a waiter there.
I'm going there today.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I have work in 3 hours.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I would say people hate work, but that seems like fun work though.
Yeah, no, that is fun work for sure. And we have a whole bunch of fun time. It's still work, but it's fun work nonetheless.
Mhm.
And so it's, we get to, I'm very grateful. I'm always very grateful. I'm so sorry. Long night, long night. I'm always so grateful that I get to work there.
Mhm.
I'm always so grateful that I get to work with the people that I do. Last night I was at the Maybe Happy Ending fan event, so I was going to do that. That was super fun. That's one of my favorite shows. I love that show. So sorry, we're talking about
I want to see that so bad.
it's fantastic.
I'm
I got to
coming
meet the
to
guy.
New York in October. I'm coming to sorry to interrupt, but I'm coming to New York in October, so I'm really hoping it's still there by the time I come.
I hope so too. I hope it runs for years upon years upon years. I think it's fabulous. I met the writer last night and it was so cool. And he was like, "Have you done a cover of World Within My Room?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have." And he was like, "Oh my God, I love it. I've seen it. The whole team has seen it." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so embarrassing because like it could have been more pristine." Like I was like, if the whole team was gonna see it, maybe I wish it was a little more in tip-top shape. And he's like, "No, it was great." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that." I was like, and I was so tired too. Whenever I'm like tired like that, I feel like I'm so awkward. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you. Like I was really like retracting back into myself. And I was like, um, but no, that was very kind. He was very sweet about it.
Mhm.
He was like, "You're the first one to ever cover a Maybe Happy Ending Broadway song." And I was like, that's pretty cool. I'll be the first. I'll always be the first.
That's so cool.
It was super fun.
That's so cool. Cause I follow the Broadway Rose TikTok and Instagram, so I've seen you perform. Superb. Just
Oh, thank you.
uh,
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, it's super fun.
you
It's super,
playing Raoul and or Dimitri or any of the princes or any of the anyone in Phantom, like please, please.
let's hope. Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Well, Phantom's coming back, kind of, in a
Kind
way.
The tour or the immersive?
The immersive.
Yeah, the immersive. Let's hope. I went to an audition for that, but obviously I did not get it. So but it's whatever. I'm sure they have people that they're already interested in, and whatever happens, happens. And maybe in the
Mhm.
future, and hopefully it runs a very long time so I can
Yeah.
use on in there.
When I
That's
first heard about Oh, sorry, but when I first heard about the immersive, I kind of was skeptical a little bit because I was like, why? Why is it immersive?
and that's hard work too. Like immersive theater is so hard because it's like you never get to like I mean, I guess sometimes you get to leave the stage, but like, it's also like labor intensive because like
Yeah.
you're moving through different corridors and like I was a big Sleep No More fan when Sleep No More was running. And I'm also a big Life and Trust fan, which is running downtown. And they're both immersive shows, and they were both Life and Trust is phenomenal. Sleep No More was phenomenal. Um, but I sat there and I was like, you are like walking up and downstairs, and it's timed so perfectly. And if it's not, because if you don't get to the same room with the same person at the same time, then a scene can't happen.
Yeah.
And like that person, like, all but 5 minutes before you could be 4 floors down. And then there's like all these traffic patterns because you never know where people are going to be in this
Mm.
building. that's immersive theater. Like I was like, this is so impressive. I, you know, such a feat. Props to those stage managers, props to those actors, props to anyone involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's so impressive.
I mean, but with Phantom, I feel like that'd be harder because there's so much.
There's so much, and it's a musical. There's so much there where I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna do that one, but I won't knock it till I try it. I'm like, yeah, I won't knock it till I try it. I'm excited to see what happens.
Did you have a favorite moment or song that has resonates or like your do you have a song or a moment that resonates with you in the show?
Gosh, all of it, all of it. I think there's like a scene that the characters Jason and Jessica have towards the end of the show, and then oh golly, I am so crazy. Don't mind me. The end of the show where all seems lost, and then Jason's kind of giving her like a little pep talk about living for the ride, and he
Mm-hmm.
says something along the lines of like don't let the stress of what you don't have distract you away from the like reality of what you do, which is like a pretty beautiful thing. I am guilty of forgetting what I have in the face of the stress of what I want. And I think that probably a lot of people are. And I think that one really, I like how that's a line in the show. And that's probably not exactly how it's written. And I'm like, I wrote it, so I have no excuse not to know it. But I, yeah, I'm in it. I that's my character's line. I should know that line. Oops. Um, but um, I'd say that there's also a scene that has since been cut that's kind of about the like writing of a musical. And I don't think it's right for this iteration of the show. I don't think it's right for like the direction the show is moving in. I hope in some like future, maybe a like, if it, knock on wood, like movie iteration, TV show iteration of the show, that scene in some way, shape, or form finds its way back into the show, because I think it's a very human experience of writing a musical. Like you sit there and you're like, why is this so hard? Why can't I plug into the muse? And then it's kind of like the like banter of the back and forth of well then how do you put together an artistic piece of theater? And it's I think that scene, I'm always as an artist, I'm always willing to part with the things that are no longer productive and no longer I guess additive to like a certain artistic piece. Even if I love them, I'm like willing to be like, that did what it needed to do, and maybe it doesn't fit in this version of whatever we're making. I think that one's one of my favorites. I have a soft spot for that. I mean, it was also the first thing I ever wrote for the show, so I think that I'll always, even though it's not in the show anymore, I'll always have a soft spot for that.
And then finally, last two questions. Are there any plans for future productions or next steps for What I Learned at Bernie's?
Let's hope. Fingers crossed. I'd like to think yes. I've been meaning to. There are some rewrites that I've been doing that have been taking a little longer than expected because I've had some pretty exciting things going on in life, some of which you can see on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know why this keeps happening. It's like a disease. I'm so sorry. Gosh, but some of which are on Instagram and TikTok that you can see right now, like this. And if anyone wants to go see this, please go check out the My Maybe Happy Ending video. I plan on doing more Maybe Happy Ending covers because I just love that show so freaking much. Like that's such a great show. Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, what was I just talking about? Oh, but I have other things that I have not like announced yet
Mhm.
because they're not official. I can't announce them until they're official.
Right.
Um, but we're getting there. Uh,
And once it does go to stage, because I have a very good feeling it will.
yes, yes.
Um, what do you hope audiences take away from it?
That's a good question. I think several things. I mean, obviously, I hope they take away the themes that I've embedded into the show. I mean, but like I just hope. So yeah, along those lines, I hope they learn how to like live for the ride. I hope they learn, oh yeah, maybe like these like touchstones of culture, these like monuments of culture, these monuments of nostalgia really do mean a lot to a lot of us in a very universal way. And kind of speak to the core of our being. And even though we may like that for like our conduit for getting there might be different and our aspects about which we like, the things we like about it might be different. Maybe, there is something unifying in there that we can all kind of get behind and push toward, which is really nice. I think, it's so easy to see other people as, like lesser than for specific reasons. And I don't think that's ever the case. I think if we like, look at the like unifying things that make us human, it's all very, very equalizing. It's very unifying. It's very, oh, like, yeah, like these are all my my brothers and sisters in humanity. Like that's kind of what the world is. And so I hope people take that away. And a lot of laughs. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
I hope they laugh a lot, a lot. And that probably is one of the primary goals as well.
Mm.
Is laugh and have fun and cackle and clap and stomp your feet and tap your toes and all of those different things. It's a rowdy, jolly good time.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob, for coming on.
Of course. I'm happy I could. I'm happy I could. This was so
I'm
fun.
happy that we finally got around to like scheduling.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I'm so sorry. Literally, life gets so wild, and especially in New York. I feel like if you
Yeah.
catch me for any extended period of time in California, I am so much easier to get a hold of. And then as soon as I'm in New York, I'm like, no one, I can't talk to anyone. I am like in my hobbit hole because if I'm not in my hobbit hole, I'm probably at like 5 different social events, 5 different work events, like hustling to survive and make money, but then
Yeah.
also like trying to like, you know, be a part of New York society. Like it's just all so much in New York. It's the
Mhm.
city that never sleeps, and all I want to do is sleep. Um, yeah, that's whenever I'm in New York, which is so funny. I feel like everywhere else I've ever lived, I'm like, all I want to do is not sleep. All I want to do is stay awake. I have all this energy. I wish I could just like. Also, I think it has to do with like, like when I was in like high school, I had all this energy, and I could have like literally like run on all of the like I just wish I had a lot of the opportunities I have now then. And I know everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason in theory. I don't know if I believe that actually. But
Yeah.
I the I don't know. I'm like, golly, like I'm so happy I get to do all of this now. This is also wonderful. I wish it hit me at 15 because then I could actually like take the brunt of it as opposed to now at the ripe age of 19, because that's how old I am now, obviously. I say that as if I'm actually old. I'm really not that old, but I won't say my age. I'm like, people can guess. It's probably not that hard to figure out on the internet, like if you really tried, but
I have no problem saying my age. I'm 25, almost 20. Wait, no, I'm 26.
slay, slay. And we love that. And we love that. Um, I let people guess. That's like my whole thing.
Did you just like let's just appreciate the one split second where I forgot my actual age and I had to like wait, no, I'm 26, no,
Yeah,
25.
I do the same thing all the time. I'm like, am I like how old am I? Like 20, 22? Like 20, 20, what? What? I do that all the time. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Or am I? Maybe I am. Who's to say? I mean, who's to, I don't know. I don't know. I always act though as if because I'm not like, still 19, I'm old. And I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
necessarily true. That's not true at all. I've always felt that way though. At 19, you can ask my friend Jess because she's been here for all of it. At 19, I was sitting there like, Jess, I'm so ancient. I am not 15 anymore. Like, I don't even know what to do with my life. I might as well like go to retirement home or something because I'm decrepit. Like, that's always been the case. Like,
Yeah.
in the micro, I will sit there and be like, oh, I'm so old. Like, I'm 19, and it's not. No, that's not. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Gotta go stop that.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. Thank God, like 3090 is a long way away. Like,
Yeah.
the tick tick boom age is a while away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and that's not gonna be the case, and I'm gonna go, oh no. But yeah, I relate to that song despite not being that age yet at all. And so
Yeah.
I related to that song at 19. Like, I was like,
Let's be honest.
being 20.
I'm 26. I relate to it now.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh golly gee, that's me, isn't it? Oh, ew. That's yeah. Oh, I love that show. I talk about fictional characters I relate to. That's not fictional because he was a real person, but like the fictionalized version of him,
Yeah.
I guess I
But I mean, can we also talk about the fact that Andrew Garfield killed that role?
he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. I love Andrew Garfield. I think he's so wonderful. I want him to do more musicals.
Me too.
I would love to see him actually in Merrily.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be great. I think if that production didn't have Andrew Groff, or what am I saying? Jonathan Groff. Don't. I bad mind today. Didn't have Jonathan Groff helming it. I think Andrew Garfield would have been a great choice as well. But
Yeah.
um, Jonathan Groff is so wonderful. Jonathan Groff is so fantastic. How could we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Jonathan Groff as Bobby Darin. I thought that was a really different one for him. I was like,
Mhm.
I was like, I didn't know you sang like that, but maybe he does. Slay. And so
I didn't expect Daniel Radcliffe to ever be on Broadway, but here we are.
he was great.
Yeah.
That show has a very special place in my heart too, because my friend Colette, one of my best friends, my best friend in the whole world, essentially, she did a production of it in Canada that I was maybe going to be a part of, that I wasn't, because of it like got postponed a whole bunch, but like essentially we like lived with that show for a very long time. Yeah, and Colette's so immensely talented and she's a genius. She's so smart. She's wonderful, great creative leader. I have best friends doing cool things, and I'm always very grateful for that. Like Colette is a producer extraordinaire in Toronto, um, and then my other best friend of best friends, Leah, is a cosplay extraordinaire doing wondrous cosplay things and doing that, all the whatever. And then I went on the flip side of that. Like my high school best friend, Alyssa, is doing amazing like legal things in the legal world. And I think that's super cool too. And so I'm very grateful.
Well, again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was so lovely.
This was very lovely. And again, I'm so glad that we got to, finally nail this down and
100%, 100%. Thank you. Yes, thank you for patience. It's crazy in New York. But we get there, we do it, we do the thing.
We do the damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. We get it done. We get it done somehow.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you guys for watching this or listening to this if you're listening to the audio. Go see what Ellen Bernie's once it comes to Broadway.
Yeah.
Listen to it, watch it.
Yeah, that was me knocking on wood. That was like my like.
Yeah, I heard it a little.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope.
I'll be announcing something exciting, something else that's exciting that might be related to other dreams of mine in like a month, in theory. So stay tuned because I can't say what it is until it is, which may not happen because there might be another dream of mine that's also happening. Let's hope.
What a horrible problem to have.
No, I'm like, ooh, but I was like, if I don't get to do this, it's because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
This this is a dream. This is a dream, and they're very separate of each other. I don't even
Yeah.
want to compare. Don't even want to compare them.
Yeah.
But this would take the cake. So
Mhm.
if I get this, great. If not, I'm so happy to have this, and it's so different. It's like having like, oh God, like what are two of my favorite kinds of foods? Oh gosh, like this is my like this one is like my blueberry pie with a la mode with like a burnt sugar like glaze on the top, which is like my dream food. Like that's all I ever want to eat for the rest of my life. That's my death row meal. And then this is like, oh gosh, what's that other thing? Like oh gosh, like carne asada tacos. And they're like, these are like this is so wonderful. I love this. I love this so much. And these serve very different functions in my life. They're not the same. Um, but like if I got this, that would be the pinnacle. That would be the pinnacle. This is great. This
Yeah.
is something entirely different. Can't compare them, but that I'm happy. I'm happy either way. I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Great year. I'm very honored. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful. With eternal gratitude do I have
Mm-hmm.
for 2025.
Well, thank you guys for watching, and I will leave Jacob's links down below. So,
Very much.
make
Did that.
sure to follow him everywhere and listen to his music and everything. And yeah, so I will see you guys next time. And that's all, folks.
Woohoo!